All right, guys, welcome back. So we're continuing our legal questions this week with attorney Alex Stanford. He joins us virtually this afternoon. Good afternoon, Alex. How are you today?
Well, good afternoon, Taylor. How are you doing? Good to be here.
We're happy to have you. And so this week we're talking about qualified immunity. So what exactly is that?
All right. As your viewers probably are aware, there is a lot of push in the culture right now to end qualified immunity. You know, there's a strong backlash against police brutality and the way they've been affecting people, specifically, you know, minorities and stuff like that. I've even seen Rand Paul championing an abolition of qualified immunity. And there's certainly what the public thinks about it, but we need to talk about what is it really? And so to talk about qualified immunity, we have to talk about absolute immunity. And absolute immunity is what the where, you know, you can't be held liable no matter what you do because of the nature of your title. And a lot of executive agencies and public entities enjoy an absolute immunity, and so they can't get sued. Well, the Supreme Court realized that, you know, our rights are so sacred that we really don't want an acting governmental body to be able to violate someone's constitutional rights and be immune from suit. So they created what's called 42 U.S.C. 1983, which is a statute that strips public officers of their immunity if they violate somebody's rights under the color of state law. And so that gave victims a right of redress to sue and get compensated, especially if there was a corruption or a pattern of violations within the police department or whatever it was. Well, fast forward till the 60s, and the courts were seeing this flood of cases where people were suing the cops for every little violation. And the courts realized that, you know, we're making it very difficult for police to do their job, because if they handcuff somebody and there's an injury, even if the way they did the handcuffing was correct, they could be sued because that could be seen as a violation of, of their rights. And so they instituted qualified immunity to try to hit that balance of, we don't want to punish good cops for doing their best under the circumstances, but we also want to make sure that bad cops who are in bad faith can get punished. And so qualified immunity is a doctrine that says, you know, if your conduct at the time is enough that a reasonable person would put on notice that the officer's conduct is violating a clear established right, then you are liable and you can be sued. If there's no established rule and if there's no way to know that you're violating it, like if you're in good faith, then you're safe. Okay, and so that's basically how it's been defined. But over the years of the courts interpreting it, it has gotten a little bit hairy. So the first thing I want to stress is that it's an attempt to impose a reasonableness standard on police conduct. So if under the facts they think they're doing everything right, the courts will give them the benefit of the doubt and say, look, you have qualified immunity, you can't be sued. But it's not to say that a cop can just say, hey, I was scared because I want to justify shooting this guy. That's not really how it's going to work. That they specifically said it's not about the state of mind of the officer. It's about what a reasonable person would think under those facts. And that's a lot of information. And we can talk later about some of the issues with addressing or trying to fix it, some of the criticisms of it, but that's basically what it means. So I hope I haven't gotten too technical with that.
No, I followed that along wonderfully, and like you said, next week we're going to talk more about what this kind of looks like and the implications if qualified immunity wasn't a thing, and that's going to be next week, so you guys don't want to miss that. But Alex, thank you so much for sharing your information, kind of breaking down the law for us. It definitely helps. But if you guys want to rewatch this and learn more about qualified immunity, don't worry. We're going to post this on our website, kadn.com. Before we go to break, though, let's send it on over to Corey.